Bet. All right, it's better now. Okay. I was out here looking crazy. I was out here looking crazy. All right, y'all, this is what I want to explain. When it comes to mental science, you don't have to believe in the outside God. You don't have to believe in things. Mental science is a science, so it allows you to use consciousness, use spirit in the way that's sane and grounded. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. This is one of the biggest mistakes that mental scientists start to correct in themselves as soon as they start to study mental science. Here's what they correct. Mental scientists realize that what people call God is impersonal, meaning it's universal and is not an individual person, meaning it's available for everybody. Here's what it also means. Here's the second thing. It doesn't have a personality per se or a will of its own per se. Thank you for the love. So when you realize that God doesn't respect any individual person, that he's not targeting one group and excluding another group, because that will require a personality and a conscious individual to make a decision between this and that. And that doesn't belong to a universal intelligence, those qualities. The quality of universal intelligence is love and law. All it is life, and life to all, which means love. And it is law, principles. That's all God is made up of. And it's not an individual person looking down on you, picking what you get and what you don't. It is not that. It is love and law. Those are the two things. So, what's the point? What is the point? Here's the point. When you are, quote, praying to God, you have to realize, if I'm praying to a God that can't realize itself exists, that can't say, oh, yes, no, reject, or accept, I'm just praying. What am I praying, and what are the mechanics of praying? I would have to know something about God in order to do that. That makes sense. I would have to actually know something, which I don't. I don't know anything. So now I have to start looking. Now look at books like maybe the Bible, maybe the Bhagavad Gita, maybe some mental science books. And then I have to ask myself, what are the laws that govern this universe, so that I can learn how to use whatever power is here. Obviously, things are created. I want to be able to use and harness this creative power to create what I want. How many people want that? Put yes in the chat if you want that. Put yes in the chat if you want that. You said it dawned on you. What dawned on you? If you want that, let me know. Okay? Here's the deal. If you understand that your mind, first of all, that there are civilizations that study the mind way better than we have, that study consciousness at levels that we just can't comprehend, who built structures with mathematical precision and for obvious reasons other than to go shopping. Speaking on the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, Cairo. Those pyramids are obviously for a reason that goes beyond just material gains. That's a spiritual building. That's a spiritual structure. That is an energetic force. We know that for sure. So with that being said, knowing that that's an energetic force over there, and that these people knew much more than we do today, because of what they built. Let's go study how they thought. But when you go do research on what they thought and you look up the books that connect back to Egypt, yeah, you can get the Egyptian Book of the Dead. But is that really anything that has to do with the wisdom they understood in Egypt? Yeah. But does it help your practical life? Not as much. No. Doesn't really help your practical life. How many people have had the experience of reading spiritual books, even books like the Bible, and saying it doesn't help my practical life? Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't help my practical life. It sounds spiritual, sounds good, doesn't help my practical life. How many people had that experience? If you had that experience, let me know. So if you've had this experience before where you read and you still need something more practical, here it is. When you are dealing with an intelligence like the Egyptians, a level of intelligence like the Egyptians, you have to study how they thought. Hermetic principles come from Kemetic principles, which means the black land, which is African. When you go back to Africa, there are plenty of civilizations in Africa that were thriving. But Egypt is the one that we all know about. That's the reason I'm using Egypt as the example. Egypt is in Africa. And that African place distilled down 7 principles of the universe in tablets, in writings. Corpus Hermeticum being one of them. The Corpus Hermeticum is one of the most profound books you will ever read in your life. The Corpus Hermeticum. The Corpus Hermeticum was written by an Egyptian priest who calls himself Thoth, and in later years calls himself Hermes. What Hermes does is he comes after rising from the earth plane. He then takes his consciousness and decides, I would like to teach. He was granted the ability to teach and serve mankind since he finished the project. He comes back to Egypt and starts to build a city of Atlantis, what he calls it. And it was Egypt. He built the pyramids. He said he reigned for 60,000 years. This is a person named Thoth who is said to have done this. Interesting, right? Okay, he wrote a book called The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. If you look up the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you will see that he claims to have created Egypt. Now, this same one who wrote this book called Thoth, in later years is called Hermes. And when you look up, you can look it up right now. Look up the 7 Hermetic Principles, or the Kabbalion, that book. Look up the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion has the 7 Hermetic Principles written in plain English. But here's the catch. The Corpus Hermeticum, which is the book written by Aesculapius and Thoth and Hermes, that book from a 60,000 alleged 60,000-year-old priest who reigned the entire time energetically from his energetic body, created the pyramids. Now, how do we know that that's accurate? Okay, why are the pyramids so precise in the way they were built? Why are they so mathematically precise? Why is it perfectly on magnetic north of the earth? How do they know this information? Who would know this information? It would have to be a very advanced intelligence. That's not to say that it couldn't be human. I'm saying it has to be an advanced intelligence. Y'all follow me on this? Has to be an advanced intelligence who has knowledge of the cosmos. Now, this is funny. That civilization thrived tremendously. And then also, it leaves behind remnants of the way they thought. Because if you understand the way they thought, they understood that consciousness creates reality. All is mind is the first law. They understood that totally. They used consciousness to build pyramids, to build the cities, to build the irrigation systems, to build everything. They used consciousness. They understood that all you do is tap into who you are and who you are will direct and guide you perfectly in perfect intelligence. You use the body as a vehicle and an instrument, but you don't succumb to the body's cravings and desires because it derails you from the intent and purpose that you came to be in the body for. The body itself is just an instrument, but consciousness is what's using this instrument to speak and listen. Right now, your instrument is being used to receive. Right now, my instrument is being used to give. But the one that's giving and the one receiving is exactly the same, according to the law of all is mind. It doesn't say all is multiple minds, plural. It says all is, singular, mind. That's what it is. So one mind. So we obviously see that there's one mind having its way through these instruments, which are physical bodies. We can see that. Right? So the instruments that are these physical bodies are being used to communicate and transmute and transmit the energy and messages of the divine mind we all are. Back to ourselves, of course. What is it trying to contact us for? It's trying to contact itself here in this body to remind itself of who it is, which is cosmic. And when that is made, when that connection is made, you say, I am cosmic intelligence, individualized. Now you wield power of cosmic intelligence. But before that, you have access. It's there for you, but your mind, our puny little minds, do not even reach that far to think that way. Yes, the universe is mental. Now, this is what they understood, that the universe is mental. So, would they ever have said, it's my mom, it's my trauma, it's my childhood that traumatized me? Would they ever say that? Knowing all is mind, do you think that they would have the same health protocols, mental health protocols as we do? Do you think the ancient Egyptians, who understood that the law is all is mind, everything comes from our consciousness, would entertain negativity for long periods of time without knowing they want to change that? Do you think that? They would have never lasted as long as we do in negativity and excuse and blame. This is the reason our society has deteriorated, is because we've lost sight of simple principles of the universe. The simple principle being all is mind. So at the end of the day, what my job is and what your job is to take our consciousness that is just one mind and remove the blocks to that consciousness. By what? Not needing to be any more than you are or any less than you are, by eliminating one block. You know the biggest block you have? The biggest block we have that stops all your blessings, that congests you, that makes you freeze, is time. We believe in time. The Egyptians did not believe in time. They understood all is mind, which is a present reality. They never considered their desires to be far off in the distant future. They understood that their desires are in mind, and all they have to do is appropriate it, meaning claim it, and then mind would do its thing to manifest it through them. They understood that. Is everybody understanding this? Are y'all following this, or am I just babbling? Your biggest block is time. So how do you use this power? The first law they came up with is all is mind. That's just one law. But from that law stems everything else. So if you ever ask yourself the question, why am I blocked? You now know you are blocked because of your mind. You know that for sure. There's no doubt, is it? Or let me talk to you who need to manifest. How many people got the same situation? You need to manifest a $600 to $1,000 in the next month or in the next couple days to fix your situation. Put yes in the chat if you got a similar situation, because we all have similar situations to this. I still have situations like this, and I'm grateful to be able to overcome them. Everybody needs money for immediate money, emergency money for things, bills, kids, all kinds of stuff. So how do you use this law in order to fix that problem? Y'all want to know how to use this law to fix that problem? You want to know what the ancients did? Okay, let's break down what the ancients did. They understood all is mind, right? So what they would do is what's called treatments. What treatments are is directing the mind in a very particular way to cause a very particular effect. So they understood the science of the mind so well that they knew what vibration, which are thoughts and emotion, or states of consciousness, to go into and transmit in order to create very particular outcomes. And they understood what those outcomes were that they wanted and what vibration they needed to go into to create it. This is what they understood at a very deep level, because all is mind. They understood that the mind transmits signal and creates, but it creates by the nature of the thought that's in it, or the feelings that are in it, or the states that are in it. So what they would do is cultivate states of consciousness to clear themselves for the way of the divine. So they would actually channel the divine intelligence in by removing their intelligence. This is what they would do. So how do you do that in your real life? First, you have to stop believing in time and start understanding the mind, is all that the reality is. So truthfully, do you need it by, quote, tomorrow? Does tomorrow exist? If you can grasp this, you can change your life. Seriously. Does tomorrow exist? Tomorrow does not exist. But your mind does now exist. Your past does not now exist, but your mind does now exist. If that's the case and the cause of everything is the mind, what does the mind do to create? What the mind does to create is contemplate. So what is it that you want? So whatever's contemplated in a universal mind becomes a universal action. The mind becomes a universal action. That has to be the first movement of spirit, or the universal intelligence, which is mind. It has to be thought. Thought is the only thing we can conceive of as creating something before there was anything to create with. You only could create with thought, which is the mind. So you do the exact same thing. You see the outcome. What is the outcome? The outcome is the rent is paid. The bill is paid. It's paid off. I have absolute certainty it's paid off. Where? Here and now. It's in mind. But you say, I need to pay it tomorrow. How many people feel like that? But I need to pay this tomorrow. Like, I don't have time for the woo-woo stuff. I need to pay this tomorrow. How many people feel like that? Like, I got real bills. I have kids. I don't have time for woo-woo. I need to actually figure something out to pay this. This is what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that what you're going to do is sit there like a guru and hum your way to create money, or fixing a circumstance, or anything like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you're entraining your brain to what you need, rather than entraining your brain to think it doesn't have what it needs. So to entrain your brain to say, I have what I need, you have to stop doing actions so that you can feel okay and get rid of the pain. Because what you're doing is you're putting the moment that you have, you're obscuring and putting it on hold for a fictitious future. Future doesn't exist. So every time that you go into your mind and you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you say, I'm going to fix this. As soon as you say that, you immediately put your salvation in the future, which doesn't exist. So you've left the moment where it's the only place you can act on. And you've put your mind in some future instance. Now you are fantasizing. You're in a fantasy if you live there. Other people, what they do is they look back to the past. And when they look back to the past, thank you for the love, y'all. I appreciate y'all. When they look back to the past, what do? They look back to the past and worry that the past is going to happen in the future again. So once again, they leave the moment to go into past, which doesn't exist. Only the moment exists where they can solve the problem and do something, which is right in front of them. Your solutions are right in front of you. But you're in the past worrying it into the future, and now you left the moment, which is the only place you can do anything. Thus, the situation gets worse and worse and worse because you're not here to do anything about it. You're in the past. You're in the future. Therefore, you can't do anything about your circumstance. Therefore, it's going to get worse. Just like you keep thinking and ruminating about. But the only reason it's getting worse is because you can't get yourself to do something. How many people had this experience? How many people had this experience? Happy New Day, Irma. Okay, I'm not the only one. J. Rob, the only one who actually telling the truth today. J. Rob, only one who telling the truth. J. Rob messaged me. I got a gift for you for telling the truth. Thank you. Since he the only one telling the truth today, I got some money for you. Look, why is it that we can jump on gossip, but we can't jump on the future of the state of our lives? See, J. Rob, message me. I got a gift for you. Because we all know this experience. And that's probably the reason that it's coming out, is because it resonates with you, somebody who it resonates with. So how do you fix this problem? The way you fix the problem is this. You have to realize the practical reasons why going into the future and past are bad ideas. The reason why is because you leave the moment you're in. That's the issue. The only place I can do something about the issue, if there is one, is in the now. It's the only place I can do anything. So if I leave the now to go into the future and try to fantasize my way toward it, I'm going to leave the moment I can do something. If I go to the past and think about what happened and what worked in the past, that doesn't exist anymore. This moment exists, and I need to have fresh perspective right here and now is what I need. I don't need the past or future. I need the now. How do I do that though? The reason why you can't be in a moment, you can't be in a now, if you're wondering why, is because inside of us, there's a something that says, I am not okay. We aren't okay inside. So since we're not okay inside, what happens? We do things to make ourselves okay, which never works. We go chase money. We go chase women. We go chase the check, the bag. We go chase fame. We go chase followers. We go chase money. We go chase anything that looks secure and to save our situation, which never works. How many people resonate with this? Say yes if you've ever done this before, because I've done it before. This is what ends up happening. Are y'all following this? We chase the false light. That's what we end up doing. So I'm doing to feel okay. Here's the first thing you do. You say, I don't do anything to feel okay. I release the person who needs to do that. I let go of the person who needs to do that. And you stop. Anytime you feel anxious, anytime you feel hurried, anytime you feel rushed, you stop and you say, I do not do things to make myself feel okay anymore. I let that person go now. And you keep letting that person go. And guess what happens? You start to open up energy that was occupied in illusion to be here in the present. And now you see more of the situation and see what you need to do. It's right in front of you. See, J. Rob, you understand. You understand that chasing is, what does it do? It leads you back to the same place. Second thing, you have to say, I'm not doing things to avoid decline or avoid getting worse. I'm not running away from getting worse anymore. Ooh. So then the self-help and personal growth and self-help books have to stop. It's not that they stop totally, you'll still read, but you are no longer doing things to avoid declining desperately. So when you release both of those, you are present in the moment for what's available to you. Here I am talking to you on live right now. Now, what is in the future? I don't know. And what is in the past? I have no idea. But what I'm talking to you about right now is what I'm talking to you about right now. This is the only moment I have to give a message to you. This is the only moment I have to get across to you. This is maybe a seed right now that I get to plant for you that suggests that you can do more and be more and have more. How many of you actually want more and want to feel better and feel more expanded? How many of you want that? It's a way to do that, but it's counterintuitive. It's not what you think. The gurus will tell you, get everything you want. Yes, get everything you want, because as you do that, you realize it's not what you really want. It's not the solution. It's not complete. If you're looking for yourself in those things, it's not complete. You're not there. You're not in the things you're chasing. But that's what the brain, the automatic mind does. You have to take possession of your mind. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? By the way, we got the new studio set up, as y'all can see. We got some more clear picture. We got a little bit of clear picture. Now we're going to be able to cut these, edit these differently. I like this. So we understand that the Egyptians, the Africans, ancient Africans who made the Hermetic principles, they knew all is mind. They did not believe in future or past. They believed in mind. That's the first thing. That takes years and years to decondition yourself from thinking in terms of time. See, when you stop thinking about time, y'all probably saw my timeline on my feed. I said time don't exist. And I gave an example of a story. And I told them, I said I had 10 months of rent go by. I did not pay rent, but I knew it was paid. And that sounds crazy to people. They go, what you mean? Who paid it? Somebody asked. I said a program ended up paying it. And in the small mind, they go, oh, well, the program paid it. It wasn't anything up to do with magic. Well, I didn't say it was magic. What I'm saying is, when I know the rent is paid and I'm not trying to go do a bunch of actions and make a bunch of money to feel okay about the situation, and I'm not trying to work so I don't go back and decline, I'm actually present here and now with the problem and solution. It's all in the mind. So when I say the rent is paid, I'm speaking that now because I know the now is where I speak things, feel things, and move things into existence. I didn't exactly know how it was going to work out specifically, but I knew it was working out because that's what I was speaking consistently into this moment. That's the only control I have, is to speak into the moment. That's what I did. I spoke into the moment, and the moment revealed that my words being planted grew and were true. And then my rent got paid. I don't know the right timing. I'm not asking about timing because time is irrelevant. There is no future or past. The moment is all that exists. So with that being the case, by the way, quantum mechanics and quantum physics says everything is evenly present in potential. It's actually now. So you can access a version of yourself that does exist and is right now. Every version of yourself exists right now to access. But to access that person, you have to actually go within to access the person. And you can't do that if the illusion got you. If you're still living in the future, you're living in the past. Is this making sense? Are you do see? Y'all, you understand it. You do it. By the way, if y'all have not followed, come on, man. Follow up there. Come on. This is game y'all getting in here. This is real students that y'all meeting in here. This is real students of life y'all meeting in here. Go ahead, follow up. Why? Because this is the information that you're gonna get on a regular basis. We do boot camps. We're doing a deep dive boot camp on the 8 Hermetic laws. I'm only on the first law, y'all. All is mine. What part you want me to say again? Ah, Ooh. Ooh. I hope y'all catching this. We're going over 8 laws in 30 days. You get 30 full days. Think 30 full days. You get inundated. You get the meditations, you get the affirmations, you get the repeats, you get the drills, you get the community. And stop you from going in that spiral and staying stuck where you are. What we don't have access to when we're not in the present. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't have access to the power of this moment or the present moment. Nothing else exists except the moment, right? We don't have anything else. So the only place that you can solve your problems is in the moment. And you miss that when you go into the future and the past. Cool. I'll follow you back here. Good, good, good. So you got to understand that. The reason that I'm on here is because this is where I'm designed to be at this moment. Because otherwise I wouldn't be on here. Yeah, if you're looking to learn the laws and not just learn them, when I say learn, here's what I mean by learn. I mean, they ingrain in your DNA and you start to be them. You start to be the law of success. This is when stuff just start happening for people. When you study successful people, a lot of them don't know what they're doing and some of them do. But all of them are doing the same thing and thinking the same way and feeling the same way. But some people are consciously doing it and some other ones are unconsciously doing it. And when you find out what the consistencies are, they all following the laws. All of them have one way or another discovered these laws that do exist and have just started using them. That's what happened. And this is the key. Like, this is the only way that I got, I think I got 13 or 14,000 followers right now. I promise you. The only way that I have that is because I come on here and I do exactly what I'm telling you to do. I use my mind. I speak to a person who can resonate with this message. I speak to the person who actually wants transformation and life change. I speak through the camera into the soul of the individual and activate the soul of that individual so that they can wake up. If they wake up, that's my goal, is for them to wake up. If it's possible. One person, one soul. If that soul wakes up and realizes it has a mind and can direct it, because the mind is creating anyways, and it can direct it on purpose and intentionally and decides to do that, that is my person. That is when people come to our boot camps, is when they wake up to that reality. When they say, I'm a thinker, thinking creates reality, I want to learn how to think better. Because if I can learn how to think better, I can run circles around anybody. I can get ideas on command. I can figure out the way in and out of circumstances on command. What are the laws? They are the Hermetic laws. You can look the laws up. You can even get, thank you for the love. I appreciate you, J. Rob. You can look them up. They're in the Kybalion. Kybalion is what it's called. Kybalion. But like I said, reading those laws, I've read those over and over again. I still don't have it all, but they are in the Kybalion. They are in the Corpus Hermeticum. Those are just hard books to read for some people. Some people don't like to read. So for me, what I like to do before I read a book is I like to get a snippet of what it is like. What's the energy of the book? Like, I'll go to somebody's summary or something like that. What I'm giving you right now is a preview to what you get at a deep, deep level in these books, because all I've done is simplified it. It's not my original information. The original information is located in the everywhere. You can access it through the ether. That's why you get flashes of insight from the air. It's literally right where you are. So all I'm doing is accessing it and giving it to you in the best way that I can simplify. That is coming to me to simplify. I'm just an instrument of communication. So I do study Kabbalah. But this is something that you directly experience. So just remember, the basics is this. What's making you stuck is you live in the future or the past. You're trying to do things to be okay sometime in the future, and you are running away from the past, or you're reminiscing or being a victim of the past. or you being anxious about the future. You're in both of those, which don't exist. Those are illusions that cover over the moment. That's the issue. Happy New Day, Nita. So if you know that that's the issue, thank you for the love. Y'all, appreciate you. So when y'all know that that's the solution, when you know that that's the solution, then you can actually apply the solution. But until then, you don't know. Until then, you just don't know. You can't apply a solution that does not exist to you. So the laws, all hermetic principles are intercabaliant. It is all is mind. It is correspondence. It is cause and effect. It's the law of vibration. It's the law of gender. It's the law of rhythm, the law of polarity. Those are the laws all together. Those are the laws. Those laws are what the Egyptians used to think. And they thought them. So for instance, I'm going to give you an example. So if you understand the law of correspondence or the law of polarity, if something is heavy, that means innately there is something light that is holding it up. For whatever reason, I don't know why that's the truth. It's just true. Anything that is heavy is balanced by light. So the heaviest thing in the world should be the lightest thing in the world, if you can leverage it correctly. That's the law. So I don't exactly know how you lift bricks that way and lift them on top of the pyramid, but I do know that it's possible, because if something is very heavy, you can use that to make it lighter somehow, some way. I don't know the answer to exactly how, but when you think in this way, you start to look for the ways that can happen, and you will find it. So this is how you shortcut thinking process. It's not, is it possible? It's, it's possible. Now let's look for it. That's what the law of correspondence or the law of polarity allows you to do. In a practical sense, I'm going to give you a practical sense. In a practical sense is, if this is very, very, very negative, think about the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life. Everybody got one of those moments. And if you lived a little bit of life, you realize that was the best thing that ever happened to you. Go back to that moment when it was super bad. It was the worst situation that could have ever happened. And look at and see if that's not the best thing. If the best things did not come from that. Best decisions, best moves did not come from that. It did. Law of polarity. So you know that the seed of benefit, greater benefit, is in the negative. You know that. So now you can look for it. But if you don't know that, when something negative happens, you are not ready to take advantage of it, because you really think it's negative. You think it's all negative. Excuse me. Okay. So reason I'm saying this, I'm not saying this so that you can just be another YouTuber, me be another TikToker that you watch. I'm actually trying to change your life. I'm interested in life change and impact. That's what I'm interested in. So when I see people go from being homeless to having a house and kids, that makes me excited. Not views. I'm being real with you on this. When I see a person come into the boot camp and they say, the first person ever just purchased my software in full, I got the biggest commission sale that I've had in 8 years of my business, I get excited about that, because that's actual impact in real life. When I hear a lady say, my mom called me and she apologized for 8 years of trying to take my child from me, and we just made up, that is what I get excited about. When I hear a person say, I'm done living in fear, I quit my job, and I'm taking my kids backpacking across the country to give them that experience. That excites me, not views. Views do not matter to me. I'm doing this because I want life change. I want things to change. That's what I want. That's what I'm interested in. Oh, Alicia doing real good. She down there asleep with the baby now. Yes, I did. Look, when I say I'm, the one, which is that God that's in you, is always available. It's just it's just happening in this interface. So you must be called here. It's a gut instinct. It's something else. It's something that connects teacher to student. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. When the teacher is ready, his students appear. And I happen to just be at this moment a teacher. Everybody came into the right place at the right time, and I'm following y'all. So if y'all want to connect with me, I will have a one-on-one call with you. I want to see what you need. That's what I first want to do. So please connect with me. I want to see what you need. Let's have a one-on-one. I just want to see what you need and see if I can help you. How that sound? Let's do that. Reason I'm doing it, I actually want life change. That makes me excited. I know a lot of people get excited about just looking good, being in front of the camera, being able to do the dramas and stuff like that, and be TikTok famous and make money on TikTok. I am interested in actual life change. That's what I'm interested in. It excites me when I see somebody actually transform. Now, it's not easy. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Very difficult. Hey, if y'all just message me up here then. If y'all already messaged me up here. But this is what I see this all the time. And then we only went over one law. So the ancient Egyptians understood these laws. And it allowed them to think more clearly with more confidence and certainty. Think about how your life would change if you could think with more certainty and clarity and confidence in yourself, because you understand the laws of the universe undeniably. Imagine what you will have. Absolutely, Juanita. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Look, after having a baby, this is day 4. The baby is 4 days old. When I tell you the focus, look, my camera right now is a reflection. Go look at my other lives that I did. Today is a reflection of how much clearer I am in my voice, in my vision and picture. The clarity of this camera and the clarity of this audio is indicative of the changes I've made in myself. Have I had the mic before? Yeah. Have I had the camera before? Yep. How come I've never used it? Because I wasn't as clear as the picture was, and I wasn't as speaking as clearly as this audio is right now. It's different. It's different. Activation. That's what I asked for. See, you got to know what you're asking for. 9 months ago, 10 months ago, I remember asking for the next level of my life. All of a sudden, me and Alicia get pregnant. It's not that, oh, this baby's going to be the next level. No, I'm going to the next level because I have to. My thinking is clearer. My voice is clearer. My confidence is more supreme. My focus is dialed in. I know what I'm asking for. I know who I'm serving. I know what I'm creating. I'm creating with consciousness and with God. I am not doing things to make myself feel okay. I'm not doing things to avoid decline and getting worse. I am in the moment available for what God has for me. And this is this right now. Total focus, laser beam. That is what I'm doing. You can have that focus too. You can have that sense of purpose too. You can. It is possible. Because if you understand who I am, see, I got to tell my past. I am ADHD. When I tell you, I was in the classroom and I would be reading and I would have to read the page 8 times. I still didn't understand what was on the page. Later found out as an adult. I'm like, damn, I'm dyslexic. I've been going through school this whole time. I was trying very hard. I'm dyslexic. I can't read the words and it doesn't compute like everybody else's. I didn't know that. There was nobody trying to check up and see if I needed extra help. I just had to use my mind to create my reality. I wanted to play football. So however I got C's, I got them. Thank you, Nita. The Almighty has brought me here with this. I'm so appreciative of the opportunity. It's a beautiful thing. Anybody got any questions? Thank y'all for the love. J Rob, yo, Looney 88. thank you for the love. Irma, thank you for the love. I appreciate y'all gifting. Thank you for the gifted. I wanted to just come on here and speak this to y'all. I wanted to speak this to y'all so y'all can get it. Y'all notice it's a different vibe. Look at this. It's a different studio vibe. Even look at my past videos. They're different. The content I'm speaking on, it's different. What I'm giving, the level of giving, is different. I will always give my people more and more and more and more. You know how I know that? Because I'm just going to continue to deepen myself to give more. I'm just going to keep digging deeper reservoirs the more that the people come to me to learn. Just like you will dig deeper reservoirs to handle anything that comes to you or do anything that comes to you. That's the game. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Do good things. Anybody got any questions before I go? Anybody got questions before I go? Y'all have been great. Let me tell you. How often am I live? I'm live almost every day. It's usually 9 to 10 a.m., but I'm always live in the a.m. If you get in the Telegram channel, my Telegram channel is different than other Telegram channels. You're not about to get spammed. What you get is you get when I go live, you get some people who message back and forth in the community about what they're learning about these topics. And I host exclusive lives in that Telegram group that I don't do live on TikTok. I do lessons there. And then obviously people who are there always get first releases on my stuff. If I do a boot camp, you get discounts on it. If I do readings, you get discounts on it. Anybody who in my community I serve first, that's just how it is, because I'm a projector and I need to be invited to serve you. So the only way I can understand it if you say, I accept, I want you to serve me, is if you get into the group. That is my version of permission. Then I have permission to teach. Or if you come into a live like this, then I got permission to teach. So jump into Telegram. If you don't know how to, just message me. It's an easy thing. It's an easy fix. All right. Now, how I turn this off? That's a funny question to me. Because I really am looking. Okay, there we go. I figured it out. I appreciate you, Jalen. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. If y'all like this type of content, share it out. Follow. I will be live tomorrow.